Hello friends and welcome back to another video. This week it's part 2 of my month-long quest to find the ultimate birthday cake inspiration for myself right here on YouTube. Last week I baked along with Keith from the Try Guys recreating his cinnamon raisin coffee something or other pecan cake, affectionately known as Daddy Cake, the remains of which are still sat behind me over here because I'll be honest, nobody else wanted to try any of it at all. And this week we're turning our attention to another one of my favourite YouTube sensations, the one and only Safiya Nygaard. Let's get to the video. Now, if you're not familiar with Safiya Nygaard, she is a kind of lifestyle YouTuber, I guess.
I am also a bit of a mixing fiend, having previously mixed together many of my makeup products, hundreds of lipsticks, nail polishes, and candles.
I'll be honest, she is absolutely my #1 favourite creator right here on the platform. And she's probably one of the main creators who actually got me hooked on watching YouTube, let alone wanting to start creating video content myself. Now, Safiya has actually done a couple of baking themed videos over the years, but the one that we're going to be baking along with today is the one where she created the ultimate Franken wedding cake.
This week, we're gonna be baking a wedding cake with every possible cake flavor in it. Perfect for the bride who wants it all, literally.
In the video we're going to be baking along with today, Safiya decided to investigate whether she would be able to create the ultimate wedding cake featuring every single flavour of cake that she and her guest star could think of.
So basically, we're gonna be able to have 32 different flavors, which is obviously not every flavor imaginable, but when it comes to conventional wedding cake flavors, it's a good chunk of them. To highlight the different flavors as well, we're also gonna be making corresponding frostings to go in between the layers.
Now, of course, we are not going to be creating an 8-tier, 32 flavoured cake in today's video because much as I like my birthday to be a big deal, there's only so much cake that we can eat. But we're going to take the theme of this idea and we are going to create our own ultimate Franken-Birthday cake by using every single flavour of box mix that we could find at the supermarket. I say we, I actually sent Bobbit out to investigate what flavours he could find, simply because I kind of want to go into this blind, and he has just got back with 8 different flavours of box mix and 6 different flavours of pre-made frosting. So as I say, in today's video, I'm going to be creating my own 2-tier version of Safiya's cake, and of course, make sure you stay tuned until the end because we're going to give it a taste and see what we think. We've got a lot to do in this video, so I suggest we better get baking.
It's time for some bad culinary science, y'all.
Okay, so in the bag, we have got a Betty Crocker Red Velvet cake mix, a Betty Crocker Country Carrot cake mix, an Asda's own brand chocolate fudge cake mix, a Betty Crocker Velvety Vanilla cake mix, a Mr. Kipling Llama Caramel Flavour cake mix, a Cadbury's Moist Chocolate cake mix, a Betty Crocker Zesty Lemon cake mix, and then another Betty Crocker Velvety Vanilla cake mix. But our thinking here, because this is all they had, is that we're going to flavour this with something else to give us that 8th flavour that we need. To go between our layers of cake, we have also got a selection of shop flavourings. So we have Mr. Kipling Space Vanilla Flavour Icing. So it's blue, but it's vanilla. We've got Betty Crocker Luxurious Salted Caramel Flavour Icing, Betty Crocker Indulgent Chocolate Fudge Icing, Zesty Lemon Icing, Mr. Kipling Dragon Vanilla Flavour Icing. So this is orange, but also possibly just vanilla. And then we have got Asda's Extra Special Chocolate Orange Frosting. Now, just like Safiya, I'm going to try and match these up into 2 tiers of cake. hopefully ones that make sense together. So for example, we've got chocolate, caramel, and then possibly red velvet, because that's a cocoa flavoured cake. And then for this other tier, I guess we're going to go down the fruity flavour, fruit and veg, lemon, carrot, vanilla, and then whatever we're going to flavour this with. And then we can also power up the frostings with the cakes where possible. So for example, the indulgent chocolate fudge can go with the chocolate fudge cake. The chocolate orange, I guess, could go with the chocolate cake. The lemon can go with the lemon. Salted caramel with caramel. One of the vanillas with a vanilla. And then that leaves us our random flavour that we're going to flavour ourselves, and the carrot and the red velvet and another vanilla. So I'm thinking, let's put this vanilla over here and we'll flavour that too. So that goes with that. Red velvet can go on the top of that one, meaning it doesn't need a frosting of its own. And the same goes for carrot with that one. So there are our 8 flavours for that tier and our 8 flavours for that tier. Now don't worry, I'm not expecting you to watch me make up 8 box mixed cake mixes, because essentially it's the same process over and over again. So I'm thinking, if we make up the one we're going to flavour ourselves together, you'll know what I'm doing to it, and then I'll get the rest of them made up as well.
So basically today we are all hands on deck, which means that I'm gonna be mixing and baking, Tyler's gonna be mixing and baking, that's you, Tyler.
Oh yeah.
And then our team member, Mylin, who has been helping us plan this project, is also gonna be baking, so we're gonna be mixing and baking many cakes at the same time.
Okay, so I've raided the flavours cupboard, and I was looking for something a little bit unusual. Almost went for like a raspberry or a strawberry flavour, but ultimately I decided to use this gin and tonic concentrated natural flavour that I think I was sent in PR, possibly a couple of years ago. So I don't know if this has like a use by date. There's not one on here. And it also has no instructions as to how much to use either. So we're just gonna roll with it, hope for the best, and see what happens. Beat the eggs, water, oil, and cake mix together and whisk for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, well, I guess that's easy. $180 ml of water, 90 ml of vegetable oil. Do you sieve this? Doesn't actually say. I'm gonna guess not. Okay, and mix. Maybe I should have sieved it. It'll be fine. And then I'm gonna put the cream beater on. And I guess 2 to 3 minutes. That seems like such a long time. Okay, so it's been about half the time, and now I'm going to add in some flavouring. I definitely should have sieved. It's very lumpy, but hopefully it will be fine. What do we reckon? A teaspoon? 2 teaspoons? It comes out in a very fine stream, which would lead me to think it's going to be quite powerful. Let's try 1 teaspoon first and give it a taste. Okay, I think most of the lumps have gone. I'm going to give it a taste. There's definitely something there. I don't know if I'd call it gin and tonic, but I can taste something. Might do another little extra bit just to be on the safe side. This could be where it all goes horribly wrong. And then 1 final mix. And then I'm going to bake all of these mixes in the exact same 8-inch silicone cake tins that I think you've seen me use before in a video. The only reason we're using these is because I have loads of them, and it means I can bake pretty much everything in one go. And then the cakes that I'm going to use for the top tier, I'm going to cut down to be 6 inches so that everything will bake at the same time. Now usually I don't need to worry about lining these because they are silicone, but we have been stung before, so I guess we'll wait and see.
Also, as we go, we're gonna be adding in the extra batter into a sort of slop cup, I guess for lack of better term, and we're gonna make a true Franken cupcake out of our extra batter. And that's how we're gonna taste all the flavors at once.
So we're going to put half of this mix into the pan, and then we're going to put the other half into my slop bowl, like Safiya's slop cup. That will be what we mix together to create our own Franken cupcake to go with our Franken wedding cake. So layer number 1 is ready to go into the oven. I'm going to do that 7 more times, get those cooked, and I'll see you for the next part of the video.
So now that our cakes are all baked, we can move on to our slop cup, which we've been adding our extra batter to all day. Ooh, oh, it's thick.
So all 8 layers of cakes are baked, and I'm already exhausted. I have no idea how they did 32 layers. What I've done, as I said earlier on, is I have baked half of each mix in an 8-inch tin. So we now have 8-inch layers of cake, 4 of which will be cut down into 6-inch layers, just because I figured it was the easiest way to do it. And then the last thing we need to do is take our slop bowl, which looks like this. And what you probably can't tell on camera is it's already rising, because that's the thing with cake. The raising agents start working even before you put it in the oven. So hopefully you can see on that camera. If I stir, you will be able to see the air bubbles from the raising agents actually already in the mix. But what I'm going to do now is give this a really good stir, and then we're going to divide it into cupcake cases so that we can make a true Franken cupcake just like Safiya did. Okay, so there's my cupcakes, and I have probably enough here left to do about another 120. So if anyone is getting married this weekend and forgot to order a cake and needs 150 odd cupcakes, get in touch, let me know down in the comments. Anyway, I'm gonna go and get everything baked. I've already made up a batch of just a kind of really lightly flavored vanilla buttercream ready for kind of assembling the cake. And so I guess we'll just take a bit of a break, come back when we are ready to put it all together. So well, for you guys it will be right now, but for me that'll be in a few hours. So see you in a bit.
But to finish off our night, we have to level all of the cakes that we've baked and cooled so that they're all exactly 1 inch tall and also flat. And then wrap them, label them, and put them into the freezer so they're easier to handle when we're building, which we're gonna do tomorrow.
So everything's baked, everything's cooled. Let's assemble this Franken cake. Just like Safiya, I'm going to start by leveling all of my cakes so that they're 1 inch tall. The amount of holes in these cakes is absolutely insane. Is this a common thing that you get from baking from box mixes? Because I have to say, I did the whole tap them on the counter and all that, yet they're still absolutely chock full of holes.
All right, so here we are on our cake building day. So we're gonna start off by building each tier individually using our corresponding frosting flavors between each layer, which we've pre-made by mixing the appropriate ingredients into a vanilla or chocolate buttercream base.
So I'm going to assemble the 8-inch tier directly onto a cake stand. And top tip, if you want to still be able to use your cake stand like a turntable, pop it on a Lazy Susan and it will do exactly the same job. I think I'm going to start with the vanilla, which is this one. And then just like last week, we're going to begin by piping a dam of our normal frosting, which is the one I've made, around the outside. And that's just going to contain the frosting that I'm using as a filling, but also it will allow the frosting I use, or the buttercream I use on the outside, to kind of blend into it without anything showing through. And then on top of that, we're going to go on with the lemon cake. Do exactly the same thing again with my vanilla buttercream. And then fill that with the lemon, or zesty lemon icing. Then we'll go on with that gin and tonic flavour. Okay, it's not even like really sticking to the cake. And then finally we're going to go on with the carrot cake, which I'm going to flip upside down so that you guys can see all of those holes in their full glory. Check everything is kind of level and even. And then just like in last week's video, we're going to do a crumb coat of the vanilla buttercream that I made. This is all very confusing. And then we'll chill that down before we do a top coat of icing. So I'm going to start on the sides. Remember, this doesn't need to be thick, this is thin. Just to seal all those crumbs in. And then I'm going to pop that in the fridge to chill while I do the next tier, which of course will be the 6-inch.
What is this? Who am I? What's happening?
This is the 10-inch.
And then this tier of cake I'm going to build onto a 6-inch cake card so that, as you saw in Safiya's video, there's something for the cake to rest on top of the dowels to hold it all together. But other than that, everything will be exactly the same, so I'm going to whiz through this and get the 6-inch one covered, filled and crumb coated as well. And then my 6-inch is ready to go into the fridge as well. And then it'll be time to do another coat. While everything's chilling and before I have a tidy up, because it's starting to look fairly horrific in here, I'm just going to put 1 scoop of each of the frostings into a bowl and mix them up. And that's what we're going to use on our Franken cupcakes. Fairly confident it will be horrific, but we're going to do it anyway, because why not? By the way, the chocolate orange is so thick. Salted caramel. Dragon, space, ultra soft lemon, which is literally going everywhere. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chocolate fudge. And then just to round things off, we're also going to put just a scoop of my frosting in there as well. Sorry, my buttercream. Definitely smells interesting. Okay, I'm gonna pipe the cupcakes now while this is here, and then we can go back to the main cake and hopefully be on the home stretch. Which I think I said in the last video, and I don't think I've ever used that expression before, so I don't know what the series is doing to me. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet in this video, but I'm not very good at doing things quickly. I'm feeling a little bit stressed. But anyway, it's time for our top layer of buttercream, and as always, I'm feeling like I haven't made enough, so we shall see. But essentially we're going to do exactly what we did when we did the crumb coat, but over the crumb coat. So I always start on the side, and just slightly thicker than before. That's one, and then we'll just do the other one, and then it'll be time to assemble, stack this cake.
So with that, we are done building and frosting all of our tiers. So the only thing that's left to do is to put them all on top of each other and build our final cake.
I feel like this apron tells a story. But anyway, we are almost there. So the next thing is to stack the cake. And to do that, we're going to use some food safe dowels, just like Safiya did.
We're also going to be using complementary smaller dowels in each individual tier, which we're going to be measuring to the height of our tiers, chopping, business, and then sticking in.
I'm not going to be using a central dowel simply because I've only made a 2-tier cake, and also we're not big central dowelers here in the UK, unless of course it was ridiculously huge, perhaps an 8-tier cake. That being said, I personally would never use that kind of click together type of central dowel. For me, if I'm using a central dowel, it needs to go through the baseboard, which would normally be made of wood, and it would have some form of kind of like locking bolt or flanges or whatever you want to call them either side, so that you've got that kind of rigidity coming up from the bottom as well. Personally, I wonder if that was part of their issue with the cake leaning.
And what we found on the internet is that you should use the diameter of the cake divided by 2 number of dowels in each respective tier.
The other one was probably something to do with the fact that although they did use the right number of dowels, they didn't really spread them out. They kind of just did a ring. And what you want is to have some support in the middle and then towards the edges as well. Now I've got these recyclable plastic food safe dowels from a company called Cake Tools Direct, and they're called the Cake Support Pin. And they're great because they've actually got measurements on them. So I can literally just slide this down into the middle of the cake, look at exactly where I need to cut it on the measurements, and then I just flip it over and cut exactly where I need to. I've just popped a little bit of that super thick blue frosting on the top of those because I've run out of buttercream. And what that's going to do is glue-ish the next tier on top. I'm just going to neaten up the bottom here.
And together, it's coming in at an impressive 47 inches tall, which means that the frosting is accounting for a full 15 inches of height.
The memory card in the camera is actually now full, so I'm quickly transferring everything off it so I can carry on filming. But essentially there is the cake stacked. Granted, it's not my finest work, but I think it does the job for this video.
So we're gonna stick our Franken cupcake on top, as well as a little custom cat bat cake topper. We also ransacked a local Joann's, so we have some spooky flowers, ribbons, and buttons that we can stick on there as well.
And then when it comes to the decorations, Safiya said that they raided their local branch of Joann's. Now we don't have that here, so I'm assuming it's just like a party shop or something. But she got a custom bat cat topper, and try as I might, I haven't been able to find anything similar anywhere. And without her saying where she got it from, unfortunately I haven't been able to track something similar down. And then she had some little, oh gosh, what were they? I think it was spiders and possibly more cats or bats. Some form of little buttony things that she put onto the side of the cake, some black roses and a bow ribbon thing. So I have made an arrangement of black roses. In fact, I could just get them, couldn't I? So I've made a little floral arrangement of roses, and I haven't made sugar roses for this simply because, I'll be honest with you, this video's taken long enough. But so we have an arrangement of roses. We have a little bow thing with some trailing ribbon, I guess, kind of like what she had. I think Safiya's was more lace, but I've gone for more of an organza. And then rather than put plastic, like buttony things or badges onto the cake, which we tend not to do here in the UK, everything has to be food safe, even the flowers I've put into a posy pick. I've raided one of my Halloween sprinkle sets from last October, which had some little black bat sprinkles in it. So I'm going to use some of those. I've got some black dragees or sugar pearls. We're going to pop those on and we'll try and bring the cake together like that. I don't know whether to wait for that camera to be ready again. In fact, I might just put the decorations on and then we'll do like a grand reveal thing when it's finished. This is my version, smaller, much smaller version of Safiya, Nygaard's and Tyler's and the team's Franken wedding cake, but for my birthday. And yeah, I guess here it is. Now hopefully you can see where I've kind of taken inspiration from Safiya's cake. So we've got the black roses, I've just kind of made them into more of an arrangement. We've got the little bats and things on the cake itself, but they're edible this time. And then we've got the bow, but because I've of course only gone for a two-tier cake, rather than having it in the middle, I've gone for it at the bottom to the side to kind of marry up with the rose arrangement, if that makes sense. I ummed and ahed about putting ribbons around the bases of the tiers as well, but because the cake is quite small, I didn't want to overwhelm it with too much black. But of course there's one thing missing before technically this is finished, and that is placing a Franken cupcake on the top. So I'm going to grab one of these from over here. Let's go for this one. And you'll notice I haven't got black cupcake cases, I've gone for a burgundy. I'd love to say that I was inspired by Safiya's wedding nails, but in actual fact I thought I had black cupcake cases and I don't. But never mind, there is the finished cake.
So we're gonna taste all of our tiers before we try our Franken cupcake.
Okay, first up, let's give this cupcake a try, which of course, as you'll remember, has got those 8 different box mix cakes in it. So we've got lemon cake, vanilla cake, gin and tonic cake, carrot cake, chocolate fudge cake, red velvet cake, and salted caramel cake. So all of that is going on in the cake. And then in the frosting, we've got salted caramel, we've got chocolate fudge, we've got chocolate orange, we've got zesty lemon, we've got the dragon kind of vanilla and the space vanilla, both of which smelled very different. So who knows what they're like. So we're gonna give this a taste and we'll see what we think. I honestly don't know what I think of that. There's a lot going on, but I think possibly because it's all synthetic flavourings rather than natural, like perhaps Safiya had going on in her cake, there's not really anything massively jumping out. The frosting, the chocolate orange, is massively jumping out, I'll be honest. There's definitely spice from the carrot cake. I honestly don't know. Very sweet, that's what it is. Yeah, sweet. I think my brain hurts. Okay, let's cut the cake. Okay, I'm gonna start with the top tier. Now, normally we would do wedding cakes in kind of fine finger slices, but for the purposes of this video, and plus it's not a wedding cake, it's my birthday cake. What am I talking about? So nothing has had a chance to set yet at all. So this is gonna be really messy, I'm sure. There we go, there's that top tier with the chocolate, the caramel, the chocolate fudge, and then the red velvet. There is the bottom layer, which of course has got the, I want to say vanilla, lemon, gin and tonic, and then caramel. I'm going to go in for the top tier first, because I think this one's going to be the less weird one. So this is, again, the chocolate, caramel, chocolate fudge, and red velvet. So I'm going to try and get a little bit of everything. Yeah, I might just have to jump in with my fingers. It works for me. That chocolate orange, excuse me, frosting is very strong. I think it kind of overpowers everything, if I'm honest. Let's try the other one. So this is carrot, dragon, carrot cake, dragon frosting, gin and tonic cake, lemon frosting, lemon cake, space frosting, vanilla cake. I'm supposed to have a big mouth. Whoa. Okay. Overarching flavour I'm getting there is the lemon frosting, possibly the lemon cake as well, I don't know, but lemon, but it's really fake lemon. I love lemon. Lemon is one of my favourite flavours, but that, yeah, synthetic lemon. I think the weirdest part of this one is the carrot cake. It just doesn't go. You think vanilla, lemon, gin and tonic, it's all very much of a muchness, but yeah, that carrot doesn't belong there. Maybe that would have been better in that tier. There we go. Now I have a 2-tier cake of questionable taste that I need to find a home for. So any volunteers? Otherwise, I think I will have a freezer full of slices of cake for the rest of the year, just like Safiya and Tyler did.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked that video, make sure to smash that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to smash that subscribe button.
So again, that was me recreating Safiya Nygaard's Franken wedding cake in miniature, and the next installment of my quest to find the perfect birthday cake for myself this year here on YouTube. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but we did a brilliant job at getting Keith from the Try Guys to notice last week's video, and equally I would love it if Safiya could see this week's video as well. So do feel free to tag her and share the link with her on your favourite social media platforms, and of course mention her down in the comments here too. We have got 2 more episodes to go, or possibly more if we are having that much fun. So if you have any suggestions of other YouTubers that you would like me to bake along with in those next 2 or more episodes, then again, head down to the comments and let me know who you would like to see. If there's a particular video, even better, make sure you share the link to that as well. You don't want to know how much washing up I've got left to do after this video, so I'm gonna go and get cracking on that. And I guess all that remains is for me to thank you all for watching once again. And don't forget, I'll be back at the same time next week with another episode of my quest to find a birthday cake. We really need a name for this series, guys. Again, head to the comments and let me know your suggestions. But other than that, I will see you at the same time next week. Until then, stay safe, take care, and happy baking.